Imagine this. You promise yourself that this time will be different. You will not lose your temper. You will not scroll until 2 in the morning. You will not go back to that relationship, that habit, that way of thinking. And then, almost without noticing, you wake up and realize you did it again. If you have ever asked yourself, why do I keep repeating the same mistake? The Bible actually has a lot to say about that pattern. Not as a textbook, but as a long, unfolding story of people who keep making the same choices on repeat. Let us start in the desert. The people of Israel have just been freed from slavery in Egypt. Picture the scene, the Red Sea behind them, the desert, stretching out in front of them like a huge blank canvas. No whips, no chains, no masters shouting orders, just open sky and the promise of a new future. You would think this is the moment where everything changes. New life, new habits, new hearts, but almost immediately something surprising happens. The food is not what they expected. The journey feels long. The desert is uncomfortable and unpredictable. So their minds reach for something familiar. They start to say things like, "Remember Egypt? At least we had food there. At least we knew what each day would be like." They begin to idealize the very place that was destroying them. This is one of the Bible's most honest insights about the human mind. Freedom is terrifying. The unknown is terrifying. And when life feels uncertain, our brains often prefer a familiar slavery over an unfamiliar freedom. Modern psychology has its own language for this. We talk about comfort zones, trauma responses, and survival mode. When you live under pressure for a long time, your brain learns patterns that helped you survive back then. But later, those same patterns can lock you into cycles that hurt you. Israel had been trained to live as slaves. So even when the chains are gone, the mindset of slavery is still inside them. The story is not just about escaping from Egypt, but escaping Egypt from inside their hearts. Another way the Bible shows this inner conflict is through the story of Peter. Peter is one of the closest followers of Jesus. He is bold, passionate, emotional. At one point he insists, "I will never abandon you. Even if everyone else falls away, I will stay." But the story slows down on the night of Jesus' arrest. It is cold. There is a courtyard with a fire burning. Peter is standing among strangers. The light of the flames flickering across his face. Fear is in the air. Soldiers, accusations, uncertainty. Someone looks at Peter and says, "You were with him. You are one of his followers." In that moment, Peter's survival instincts kick in. He feels the threat before he even thinks. He denies it. He says he does not know Jesus. Not once, not twice, 3 times. This is the same pattern. Peter truly believed he would be loyal. He had a self-story about himself as the brave follower. But when fear pressed in, a deeper pattern surfaced. The instinct to protect himself at any cost. Psychology would talk about this as the clash between our ideal self and our threatened self. The person we want to be and the person we become when we feel in danger. The Bible captures this not through abstract theory, but through a painfully human moment around a fire, in the dark. When a man betrays his best friend to stay safe. Now, the Bible does something very literary with these patterns. It repeats them on purpose. Take the book of Judges. If you read it in one sitting, it feels like a loop. The people turn away from God. Life starts to fall apart. Enemies attack. The people cry out for help. God sends a rescuer. Things get better. Then, slowly, they forget. They repeat the cycle, over and over again. This is not lazy storytelling. It is intentional. The book is like a psychological diagram drawn as a story. It is showing what happens when a community never truly deals with its inner issues. They might change kings, change enemies, change circumstances. But inside they are the same. So the cycle continues. Here is the fascinating part. The Bible seems to suggest that the real battlefield is not just outside us, but inside us. There is Egypt outside and Egypt inside. There is danger outside and fear inside. There is a story outside and another story running in our hearts. So how does the Bible imagine breaking the cycle? It gives several tools, woven into its stories and poems. First, remembrance. Israel is constantly told to remember. Remember you were slaves. Remember you were rescued. Festivals, meals, songs, even stone memorials by the river are all there to shape their memory. In psychological language, this is narrative work. It is about telling the truth about your past, so you do not rewrite it as something better than it was. Second, honest speech. The Bible has a whole collection of prayers that sound raw and unfiltered. These are the Psalms of lament. They cry out about fear, shame, anger, and confusion. Instead of stuffing emotions down, they are voiced. In mental health terms, this is emotional processing. The Bible does not reward pretending to be fine. It gives language for not being fine. Third, new identity. In many biblical passages, people receive a new name or a new calling. Abram becomes Abraham. Jacob becomes Israel. Even Peter, whose name means rock, is given that name long before he ever acts like a stable rock. The Bible is exploring a theme. Your future does not have to be chained to your past failures. You can live out of a new identity instead of repeating the old one. Fourth, community. Almost every major change in the Bible happens in relationship. People walk together, confront each other, encourage each other, fail each other, and forgive each other. Psychology today tells us that healing rarely happens in isolation. Our brains are wired for connection. The Bible agrees and shows change happening in circles of people, rather than lone heroes. All of this comes together in the larger biblical story as an invitation. It does not just say try harder. It asks a deeper question. What story are you living in? What patterns are shaping you? What Egypt are you tempted to return to? What courtyard are you standing in, warming your hands by the fire, feeling fear rise in your chest? The Bible does not deny that we repeat mistakes. In fact, it highlights it. But it also suggests that we are not locked into those loops forever. So maybe the next time you notice yourself doing it again, you could pause the loop. Name the pattern. Remember where it leads. Be honest about the fear or the shame underneath. Reach out to someone safe. And ask what it might look like to step, even a little, into a different story. In that sense, the Bible is not just an old religious book. It is a long, honest exploration of the human mind, and a surprising invitation to become someone new.